Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender was another show that completely destroyed my expectation yet again. A show that I thought would be bad was actually worse. Netflix Avatar TLA is a show based on an iconic cartoon by the same name, created in order to bring the grown-up audience of the original cartoon to technically watch the same thing. It's the same story, same pacing, same direction, and how it goes, how it ended, and to be honest, my friend also thought of the same thing. But that actually comes from my biased perspective as someone who have watched Avatar The Last Airbender, and then the same story again in 2024. So for newcomers who witnessed the story the first time, is it good? Well, obviously there's a lot to say and I could have made a critique video on this series, but of course someone beat me to it. This is Drew Gooden's video. Because my upload schedule looks like a dung beetle, if your dung fell, your YouTube views must too. Look, I get that it would be better to make your own original video, but Mr. Gooden's video is near perfection, and everything he said in the video is almost aligned with my problem with the story of the show. So in regards of all this, you really need to watch his video like right now. I'll put the link in the description to check it out and then come back to this video. So the point of this video is to dig into the one thing that really bothers me, and that is the composition. Now, as someone who's studying in multimedia broadcasting and having to watch this, I have to be honest, an absolute shit show, Netflix TLA has proven me that even the people who had access to expensive equipments really doesn't know the basic of what makes a good cinematography or good lighting. But to give the benefit of the doubt, there were some really cool scenes, like this one in episode 1 for example. It displays the rough environment of the Fire Nation. It also shows how the firebenders can easily pull off their tricks because, well, fire is really light. But an earthbender has to really struggle, has to lift the weight of the world because soils are more heavy. So in the end, the earthbender got wrestled quickly before he even capable of doing his bending, resulted in him being captured and executed. This wasn't a thing in the cartoon, but they had to do it because this is live action. It has to be more realistic and gritty, and with the help of really good compositing, this scene looked amazing and it's just absolute genius. Which is a shame that they disregard this completely in the next episode with this scene. First, a quick lesson. So what makes a good compositing? Well, firstly, a composition in cinema means the elements that makes a shot or a scene. So things like actors, scenery, props, and importantly, the visualization of the story with symbols and meaning. There needs a clear message, an ambience, basically creating context to keep the audience engaged, to make them feel immersed. And that's what essentially good compositing is. So a romantic or calm moment would have a lighter color palette, smoother frames, and smooth camera movements. But intense ones tend to have a very clear color palette where you can see everything, very few frames to show the rough circumstance, and the movement of the camera had to be shaky, fast, or usually being handheld. With that being said, and Netflix TLA being a show with a world full of elemental benders, ancient architectures, and magical animals, almost not nailed those aesthetics in the composition. Look at this scene in episode 3, where our protagonist Aang found himself in trouble in an apart state kingdom of Omashu. He now has to face up the firebender Zuko, who has been looking for him for a while. Although the cinematography, the choreography, and the CGI physics of air and fire and the camera movements were consistent with how we the audience supposed to feel, a sense of panic, there's only one thing that ruined this scene: the lighting. This scene already has the inconsistency of the lighting, whereas the background had one direction, the middle ground and the foreground had a completely different direction. In fact, when you look at the lighting direction on the real subjects, which is on the foreground, it is slightly lower than the CGI background. Take a look at Avengers Infinity War. When Thanos had a convo with Doctor Strange, we can clearly see the consistent lighting. But the most detrimental from this scene is that you lost the way of knowing where does the light come from because of how diverse and different the lightings from each grounds and each shot, as opposed to other scenes from other series or movies. Which is why at first glance the whereabouts of our real subjects look so fake. And this is almost a recurring theme throughout other episodes. At times, either the subject which is on the foreground would have less light exposure than the CGI background, or high exposure and all over the place. Look, this is just one thing. Like every single element from Netflix TLA was done better than I expected, especially the cinematography and the CGI of the bending that literally look like real life. It's just only the lighting on the subjects. One out of the many consistent elements just ruins everything. It makes the real person look so out of place, and I generally don't know why the people behind the show didn't see this. But yeah, there's a free filmmaking lesson for you. What? You thought there would be more? Nope, it's just this one. I hope there's more things I could rip on. I really hope. But anyway, thank you so much for staying till the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and comment. If you want to support the channel, then simply subscribe. The next video is going to be the full review of Fallout. It's going to be spoiler heavy, but I'm still not sure if it is going to be uploaded after this video, so there could be a different video before the Fallout review came out. Anyway, peace.